decimal.
She asked for more. Alzheimer's. What they forget to tell you. Episode 26 already. Hi.
Hi.
Hello. Got my water.
I thought you were going to sing like the Lionel Richie.
No, I can't sing the Lionel Richie if no one's here yet. So we'll wait till, I guess, some people come and see if I'm in the mood to sing Lionel Richie. No?
Oh my god.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe that's angry face?
You're a fool.
I'm not sure. Not sure. Hi, everybody. Hi, Bill. Good evening, everybody. Steve. I wish we could minimize so that we could, like, once it goes
like
up,
if
that's
we don't
it.
call, it's just because we can't see.
And it goes up so quickly that we can't catch everybody's name when you guys come on all at the same
Hi,
time. Jonathan. Hi, guys. Good evening. So we are in episode 26, like I said. Alzheimer's, What They Forget to Tell You, the book that this one wrote. How are you this week?
I'm okay.
Well, she's better than last week, so I'll take that. Scratchy is in the house.
Is that his name?
Yes. Bill, how are you doing?
I'm okay.
I already asked that.
Yeah, I'm
She's
okay. I'm okay. Not 100%, but okay.
We'll take that.
We'll say like what? 80?
That's better than last week, right?
Yeah.
You weren't
Hi,
feeling
Karen.
Well. You weren't feeling well last week. I'm doing well. Thank you for asking.
Hi, Cindy.
Nash is in the house. 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 Don't be a hater. You're giving me side eye. I don't appreciate that.
No, that
That's
was
okay.
a blatant eye. Side eye is like me with my face straight and then like. But I was like.
Okay, hold on. Do that again. What is
like,
side eye? Oh. And then
but
what
I
did
went
you
like
do?
this.
Oh, so you gave me a front eye.
I gave you full frontal.
Whoa.
I mean.
Moving on. So, how is everybody doing? Nice to see you. Thank you for tuning in. Because I know I was just telling Karen a little while ago that this is a pretty busy season with sports, playoffs, and all kinds of stuff. So the fact that you guys are tuning in and taking some time to, check us out.
It's probably because it's just before something. Yeah, I know. No, I didn't say that.
You want to rewind?
No.
We can rewind.
No, we're not rewinding. That's not necessary.
It's on tape.
That's not necessary.
We got it all.
And I didn't mean it like that, so
Ew.
you guys have dirty minds.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Right.
Okay, so are we going to call Kalina?
Well,
are we doing Kalina here?
Is she on?
Hi, Cindelicious. Cindelicious in the house. Oh yeah, Cindelicious in the house. Oh yeah. So today we are going to continue. Or hopefully we're going to continue. From last week we had Kalina calling in, and she was talking and sharing about the differences between caregiving in the U.S. She's in Alabama versus here in Ontario. And Karen obviously is caregiving in the home, and Kalina is caregiving
in the home
as well. But then she has some assistance. Was it a couple days out of the week?
Yeah, it's not very much. She just has like a nurse that comes in twice a week, and then she said her uncle and her aunt rotate to give her some time.
Okay, so let me see if I can find Kalina, and see if we can do this. We should have. I thought this would have been the same type of deal. Oh, there she is, Kalina. Invite. All right. Okay, let's see if that works.
I don't know if you can do it like that. I think she just has to.
We'll see.
Oh!
We're about to check that out. You okay there?
Yeah.
Everything okay?
Yes.
Is there anything that you wanted to share this week with us before we move on?
Like what?
I don't know.
No.
Tell us.
What?
Not sure.
No.
Okay.
There's nothing.
Good talk.
Great.
All right. So. So in the interim, while we wait for Kalina, if she's going to be with us tonight,
we should probably talk about self-care.
Hmm. Dun, dun, dun. Self-care is essential and important, not only for caregivers, but for women, period. Well, men too. Y'all have to, like, take care of your stuff. Stuff.
Okay. The importance of self-care. So I think Bill, I was talking. Yeah, see, very good topic. Yes, Bill, because you've been absent and I know you've been stressed out.
Bill, she's giving you the finger.
No.
Okay, and she gave you some neck too.
No, I didn't.
Yes, Bill, we missed you last week. We thought definitely it would have been a great episode for you to be in. We know afterwards that you were dealing with some things, but we definitely missed you, and would love to have you kind of chime in if you could one of these weeks. Would love to hear your experience with caregiving for your mom. But again, you were saying
that it's important to do self-care. It's all good. Okay, good. For get a regular checkup, make sure everything's good with you, because if something happens to you, then the whole thing is over. The whole show is over. So we tend to neglect ourselves. Even we were talking about that. Even as mothers, we're always concerned with our children, and as a caregiver, you're always concerned more. You're so in depth with the person's health that you forget your own, and it's very stressful. So you have to keep in mind that you should really take some time out. You have to take some time out for yourself. So I don't know, Bill, how you do it. Like, you're an only child and you're caring for your mom. So what supports, and very little support from PSW. So I don't know how you do it.
And I remember too, even Kalina saying last week, that was the kind of her entry into the discussion, was that she feels very isolated at most times, and her friends and her family, her other family and stuff, don't really understand what goes into caregiving and how the caregiver feels. So they end up feeling very isolated and alone because so much of their day is consumed by what they do, and they don't really feel like going out and being social and being around other people. So it is really good to hear other people's perspectives, especially that are in similar circumstances, just to hear what you guys do for self-care, if you actually do things. I know massage is great, getting out to a spa once in a while.
Bill says it's very hard and it's very isolating. Yes. And we were talking about that. Unless you're in it, you really don't know the challenges that when you're looking after someone, especially with a neurological disorder, which Alzheimer's and dementia is. Yeah, and when do you have time to do self-care? Very true, very true. However, if you don't do it,
you burn out. You burn out quick. And it can get very overwhelming very fast. And then you were talking, same thing, like people fall into depression. People fall into sickness themselves because they're not taking care of the essentials that they need to for themselves, right? So did that happen to you?
Yeah.
Very early on, or was it
No,
more...
it was more... see, the difference with me, I guess, if I have to say, is that when my mom was diagnosed, I had a young child, so I couldn't afford to, it was I couldn't afford to just say I can't do this anymore.
You couldn't shut down.
Because my son is depending on me. So I guess, in a sense, he kept me going until, I guess, of course, there's a time where you hit a wall, and then that's it. And that happens when you just can't do it anymore.
And so, is there a lead up to that, or is it just all of a sudden one day it's breakdown, I'm on my butt and I can't function, or I have to go and get medication, or...
Yeah, I think you have to identify how you're feeling, and you have to be very honest with yourself. And it's hard, because it's hard to admit that
you can't handle it.
Yeah, because you feel guilty. It is depressing. You feel guilty because you're like, why am I not doing enough? Right? Then you feel bad for feeling, because you go through all those emotions, you start being resentful because you're not you're sacrificing your life
yeah,
for somebody else, but it's not their fault. But still, it's still a feeling, and it's a valid feeling.
Yeah, of course.
And, you know, I don't know. You do realize, oh my gosh, I'm so depressed. Because then you start isolating.
So, yeah, Bill said he went to the doctor 6 months ago and was told by the doctor that he's diabetic. And it was very depressing. So, something similar. Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. And I guess, like, you want to talk about the 8 different stages, like you go through, you said the resentment, and then
I said
anger.
It's like the, you know, I said I was going to come out with my own because, you know, Kubler-Ross, she was a psychiatrist who studied death and dying,
mm-hmm.
and then noticed that people who were diagnosed with, like, an illness or who were dealing with someone who's passed actually go through like these 5 stages. And, you know, I guess the first is denial, and then there's anger, and then there's bargaining, and then, you know, the last stage basically is acceptance.
Mm-hmm.
And it takes a long time to get to the acceptance stage.
Okay.
So, but then I think with Alzheimer's, because it's so challenging, you go through so many other ones like guilt, anger, you probably go through resentment. There's a whole bunch of... Can you see us when that thing's on? I doubt it.
No, I don't think it bothers them. I think it's just on our screen.
Really?
I'm pretty sure.
Are you sure?
No.
Because that was just so like...
I'm trying to figure out if I'm missing something with Kalina, but okay.
Okay, well, basically, yes, I think you go through a whole array of feelings. Dealing with... You have to... I think of it... I try to break it down like this. Try dealing with somebody who has something wrong with their brain. And think of how challenging that would be. Like, they don't remember what they just said like 5 minutes ago, or they repeat the question, or they get confused and then they're crying, or then they're aggressive, or then they're wandering, or then, you know, or they're saying mean... Sometimes my mom didn't, but saying mean things to you. Like, and you're supposed to just grin and bear it because you know it's not them, it's the disease.
Yeah.
But you're still human, right? So trying to go through, and then that happens like all throughout the day. And then trying to feed somebody who doesn't want to eat, but you know they have to eat. Or it's just...
Yeah. It's literally dealing with an adult infant.
Exactly. That's right. Same as me, Bill. Bill's saying he will never give up on his mom because she was there for him, and he'll be there for her to the end, just like me. Yep. Exactly.
And you guys are the real MVPs. This is what this is about, right? The caregivers and your roles and your journeys. And I mean, the sacrifices that you guys all make. I mean, I don't think people really have a clue. Again, it's like Karen said, until you are forced to be in a situation like this. And it's like anything else, really. I mean, you have no clue what being a mother is like until you pop a human out of your body. You know what I mean?
However, I'm glad that you brought that up, because like we were talking about that. Until you go through it, you don't know how. But the worst part of Alzheimer's is that there's hardly any awareness to begin with.
Right.
So like, okay, even though I've never had cancer, yes, I've known people who are close to me that have. So yes, but still, even if you didn't, you could appreciate and kind of be empathetic, because there's so much awareness about cancer,
right,
and the stages and the illness and how it affects you. But there's zero, I shouldn't say zero, but very little awareness on Alzheimer's and how it affects you, or dementia. Let's just use that word, dementia, and how it affects you. And it frustrates me because
there's a lot of people suffering from this.
And are going to. Like, there's right now, I'm researching for my speech because I'm going to be going to Paris next month. Okay, Kalina's on there. Bring them on camera. There's 50 million people worldwide that are suffering with dementia.
That's a lot of
50 million people.
Some big numbers there. Those are some big numbers.
It's like 1 in 3 people have Alzheimer's. There she is.
Yes,
okay. Better late than never.
Yes. Sometimes you have some unexpected things to happen.
Oh, that's peculiar with Alzheimer's. Huh.
I know, right?
Yeah.
And that could be a little things I don't know.
This sounds just like last week. So I'll wait till you get settled, and then, were you listening?
No, I just got off.
Okay. So we were just talking to Bill, and we're talking about how isolating it is, and how depressing it is, and every day is a new adventure. So you just had a little adventure, right? Was the nurse there? You okay?
I don't even know if I'm here.
This is a comedy.
Well, you look pretty.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Like,
Yes, my nurse was here. They left, and so sorry. Things just ran into overtime, so I'm sorry. I'm just now joining ladies.
All good.
it's all good. It's all good. You're all caught up. Because that's a real life. That's real life right there. That's what happens. You can't schedule anything. Everything, you know, depends on the day. There's no schedule. Yeah.
It's like we have a delay.
Mhm.
But as far as time, you cannot say, I'm going to be here on this time. Well, when I'm caring for my grandmother, because, like, it could take her 10 minutes to put on one shoe. For me to help her get one shoe
Oh,
on.
yeah.
And
I used to dread that. I used to dread having to go somewhere with my mom because it would take forever to get her in the car.
And I was reading today how several caregivers who are caregivers to dementia patients don't like going out in public, or they try to avoid going out in public as often as possible because of that reason. Because of
The lead up.
yes.
But then that's sad because then it becomes isolating again, right?
Yeah.
So it's a catch-22. I know.
Okay, so let's go into continuing where we left off last week. There was a few changes or corrections that you were trying to make, I think, with some of the stuff that you had said. So we'll give you a couple of minutes to maybe do that, and then let's continue where we left off. What was the topic exactly, just for the people who didn't tune in last week, so that we give a little refresher?
I guess the differences between, Ontario has what we call the LIN, which is the Local Health Integration Network, and they contract hours out to agencies, so nursing agencies, to give people hours if they qualify to come into your house to help. But of course it's very few hours, not nearly enough. And so we were talking about the differences between, I guess, Ontario and Alabama, and then my cousin in New York was talking about New York, the state of New York, and they have it seems like an excellent system there, because somebody comes in and gets paid, Medicaid pays for her son, right, to take care of Auntie Pearl.
Okay.
So, it's different. It just seems state to state, it's different.
And Cindy says there's also fear and confusion that they may have when they are outside. My
Yeah.
dad became very distressed and would be aggressive. Sorry.
So you have to say it out loud. Nobody heard you.
Sorry.
Okay, go.
I can't hear from here.
Oh, you can't hear.
No.
Yeah. So my sister-in-law, Cindy, says there's also the fear and confusion that they may have when they are outside. My dad became very distressed and would be aggressive. So it's a delayed post from what we were just talking about with the challenges of bringing an Alzheimer patient outside.
And then nobody knows, because it's neurological and not physical, nobody knows this person.
Is sick.
Like, my mom never looked sick. So people wouldn't know, like, oh yeah, you can't speak to her like normal. she's not understanding, and she might laugh inappropriately. She might say something inappropriate. Those were always my fears of like, oh my gosh, what if she says something? Because
there's no filter.
No, there's none.
Like being humiliated, I would feel like humiliation for her.
Yeah.
I would feel bad for
Or
her.
what if somebody got angry with her for saying something?
I
I know, because you wouldn't, right. So, like, it's a lot. Yeah. Okay.
But back to the differences.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Just to clarify, we do have something similar to that in Alabama, where Medicare can pay for the caregivers if like if my grandmother if she was like, I guess it's based on your income.
Yeah. Same as, no, not here. Not here. So she could qualify for something, is what you're saying.
It's all based on your income. Like, people could get help. Everything's just based on income.
But then the question would be, is it normal help? Like, I mean, is it enough help?
Oh, I mean, like maybe I could get a check. That's what I was referring to. Like, I may it could be.
Like, they will pay you to be the caregiver?
Like, the state would
They would?
pay me if also the VA, like my grandfather was a vet. He was in the Navy. So they can also provide sources for like income for caregivers of the.
See, we definitely don't have that. We don't have anything set up where they're going to pay a caregiver to take care of their parent.
Really? Like nothing?
Nothing. No way. Nope.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
No.
So we gotta definitely maybe see if that can change.
And we were
at some
talking
point.
about that too, like even for volunteers, you can't even take advantage of having a volunteer to come in and stay, because sometimes if you're elderly you can get a volunteer, but not with Alzheimer's, because of the behavioral issues, people are too afraid to volunteer to look after somebody with dementia. So I don't know, we need to do something. This is ridiculous.
Yeah.
It can't just be like continuing from last week, it can't just be because it's not physical, because you can't see it. An impairment is an impairment. I'm going to keep saying that. It doesn't matter if it's physical or neurological, it's still an impairment. That affects quality of life, right?
Everybody's quality of life.
Yeah. It's even worse.
Because it's a domino effect. It's not just the one person, it's the entire community that is dealing with this one person. So it's difficult. Okay.
I would be curious, because I know there's facts and figures, but they do talk about how much money a caregiver actually saves the state or the province because you're supplementing that care, right?
Well, that would be a good point.
I'm going to research that on how much money is being saved this way, taking care of somebody at home.
Yeah. And let us know. Definitely.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
did you want to talk about anything else, Kalina?
by the way,
Now we were going to talk about isolation. I didn't know if we were going to talk about isolating for the caregiver or isolating for the caregiver and the whole everyone involved, or the family, friends. But
Yes, it is isolating, because even from your family, it can be, and a lot, even from your friends. Like it's I know it's not that you blame them, but they don't know how to handle it. And I think a lot of it has to do with, I don't know, for me, a lot of it has to do with like responsibility. So this is my responsibility. So you don't need to help me. I don't need help, right? It's just, it's a weird duty thing that I have going on. So I'll be the martyr and then I'll suffer in silence. That's kind of where I'm at, right?
That's where I'm at too.
Right.
So explain that in terms of when you say that's where you are too. Like, are you afraid to ask others for help or assistance, or is it that obligation you feel that you have to do it all yourself, or like what is your experience like?
Okay, I don't feel, I know that I can have help from certain people if I ask. I know they'll be here like that. But I also, it's like both, I feel both. I also feel like it's my duty that I owe this to this lady because she was there for me my whole entire life. Right. Even though she's not my mother, she was my grandmother and fit in as a mother would in some parts of my life. But I just feel like I owe it to her, and that's what family's for. And
so, Kalina, do you have any children?
yes.
How many children do you have?
I have one child. She lives with her father.
Okay. And would you say that you caregiving for your grandmother has impacted her in any kind of way, or what's that been like?
Yes, definitely. I feel like children are out of this equation completely as far as, like, my daughter, she can't even look at a picture of her great-grandmother without crying because that look isn't there. She
right.
knows that it's not the Mimi that she grew up with.
How old is she? How old's your daughter?
She is 14.
Oh, wow. Oh, okay. So you have like a teenager.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I would have never known. Jeez.
That's like Jalen. Jalen says my mom is like, he looks at her like a patient. Like she's not like a grandmother. Like he knows she's right, but he never had that relationship with her.
Before she got sick. Mm-hmm.
So he said it's sad because he doesn't have that bond.
That is very unfortunate because she would have been bigger than life with him, you know? That's sad.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you, but yeah, I wanted definitely to find out how that experience with your daughter in terms of, you know, that was like raising a child and how it affects the child and stuff like that too, right? Because that's a whole different topic.
Oh yes, it definitely affects them. She can't even, it's not that she doesn't want to be around her, and that's what I was saying. I think that this only applies and is, what I think children are only qualified to can say this. I want to remember her as she was.
That's right.
I don't want to be.
Yeah.
How can I put it?
No, you put it correct. That's exactly true. I say that to her. I want to remember my aunt with the memories I had growing up with her and not the way that she is now.
And then, okay, on the flip side of that, I completely understand that. But then when we have to deal with it the day in, day out. So we have to see this. We, of course, don't want to see them like this either. So when people have decided, I can't see her like this, or it's too hard for me to see her like this, I just find like almost, as much as I know that's a very valid feeling, it's almost like a slap in the face telling a caregiver that. Like, I think if you want some advice as a person 18 years in, don't ever tell a caregiver, I can't see her like that, because it's a slap.
Kind of as honest and as nicely as I can be, it's somewhat kind of shallow. I feel when someone says that to me. I haven't really had anybody hardly say that to me, but I want to remember as she was, or just all the common things that go along with oh, she won't know me, but you know
Yeah.
what? You'll know her.
Right.
You'll know her.
Yeah, exactly. I have a lot of people. "Oh, she doesn't talk." So what? She might know that she might hear your voice, because the last thing to go is hearing, right? It's just like, I just find, at least if that's your excuse, great, but just don't tell me, because it cuts. It's deep when I hear that kind of comment, like, "Oh, she doesn't even know I'm there and it doesn't matter." Yeah, but you're right. You know you're there. So shouldn't that should be the only reason that you're doing that, because you know this person, and you know, it bugs me, and I'm just going to be honest, because I know how my mom was. My mom was super caring all the time for everybody, and she was a nurse too, so it was even to other people, like,
Right.
and I just know if this was flipped and somebody else was sick, my mom would be front row and center with that person, and it wouldn't matter how they were, or if they didn't know her, she would still go and visit. Oh, okay, can you how are we gonna read that? I want to read that. I think, is it Karen? Okay, Karen, just stand by. Like, Karen said a whole bunch of stuff, and I'm just gonna try to read it. I hope I can read it. Let's see. Would it come up here?
Should. She should have been the last person that just commented.
Oh, right here. Okay. All right. Scenario 3. Or did you have two? Did you have two other ones? Okay. Well, scenario 3. Oh.
I gotta get something stable. Let's just face it.
I'm gonna mail you a stand. Okay. Scenario 3, high level of care, dependent stage of care.
Working. Carry on.
Okay. Mr. and Mrs. Jensen live in a 2-bedroom condominium. Mr. Jensen is 93 years old, alert and aware, but physically frail. Miss Jensen is 88 years old, diabetic, and recently had a stroke. Her balance is poor, and she's at high risk for falling. She can only walk short distances and needs help to get around. She also has heel ulcers that make her walking even more difficult. For longer distances, she uses a wheelchair. Her family doctor recommends Mrs. Jensen move to a nursing home, but because Mr. and Mrs. Jensen's daughter promised she wouldn't send her parents to a nursing home, she needs to make alternative arrangements. Options include using a caregiver to assist Mrs. Jensen with bathing, dressing, toileting, walking, meal preparation, household chores, and transportation to and from appointments. A nurse could monitor and chart her medicine use and blood sugar levels, clean her heel ulcers, and change her bandages. Mr. and Mrs. Jensen would also benefit from a home safety assessment by an occupational therapist who may recommend safety bars, raised toilet seats, better lighting, removing clutter, and securing loose rugs. So, okay, Karen. So, are you saying that? So are you saying that she didn't get the care in her home? I guess.
I'm so lost. I don't know what. So we're doing scenarios right now. What is this a scenario that she's going through?
I don't know. Is that what you're going through? Well, no, obviously her mom has Alzheimer's, so no, I don't think she's going through that. Or are we just talking about home care versus nursing home care?
Well, in her defense, I have been on the other side, and when you're talking, comments come in. By the time you're done writing and send it, y'all are on a new topic.
Right.
Yeah, so it could have been something that we said earlier. Maybe. Yeah, okay. All right, we'll have to get back to that after then and see where that fit in. Okay.
What were we talking about before this scenario? We were talking about Kalina and...
When people say...
Oh, right. They don't want to see her
They don't
like
want to
that
see her
now.
like that.
Okay.
And they can't see her like that.
Okay.
And yeah, there's like support groups for this that they have online, like the memory people and stuff like that, where you can go to vent when in reality the person that you need to be venting with are these people because there are so many. I was doing some research on it today, and there's several families that have this issue, that have a loved one with this disease.
And it usually falls on one person.
This is a lot of people say, I want to remember them like they are. That was a main thing people said.
And the other one, like you said, where they say, I don't want to, they don't even know I'm there. They don't even know. Yeah. I don't like that one either. Like, they don't know. How do you know? How do you know what's in their mind? You don't know, right?
It just truly boils down to excuses.
Yeah.
Is what and that's why I was saying about my daughter. Like, I think children are excluded from this. And I may be biased because I have a child and I've seen her cry, but I feel like 19 and younger, they're excluded from this whole subject.
Yeah, like,
and I'm not pointing at anyone, I'm not saying any names, I'm just saying in general with this disease, I mean, I don't know if y'all have issues like that. I mean, I'm not saying that I do, I'm just saying that this is obviously a topic that most families deal with.
Right, and so I guess bringing this up was really for me trying to find a different perspective, because like Karen said, when her mom got diagnosed, she had a newborn. She had a young child, and 18 years later, Jalen is not young anymore in terms of this baby. He's a man now. He's 18, right?
And in my I just want to be thing, like, we were estranged at the time, and so I did not have any family here for support or help for 15. That was hard. That was very, very hard.
And I was reading on I don't know if it was Google or some other thing that I had Googled, but there's these situations where you're finding that there are cases of women and men that are getting diagnosed at our age.
Or even 22.
That are super, that are super young, that literally just got married, just got pregnant, in early 30s, just got diagnosed with stage 1 Alzheimer's. And I'm showing her and I'm like, that's like me or you literally starting out your life in terms of adulthood. You buy your home, you get married, you settle down, you start adulting, and you get this diagnosis at such a young age. And of course it's going to affect your entire family. So it's not so much just looking at, oh, this is an old person disease now, and this is for my parents and my grandparents. This is really happening for younger generations as we are going through these stages. It's happening to younger people, right? So this is kind of why I wanted to...
Well, it's the same thing. Even people were calling it old timers. They were calling it the wrong thing. It's like, it's not old timers, it's Alzheimer's, and you don't get it just because you're old. My mom got it at 57. She didn't get to retire. And people are like Wendy said, they're younger and younger. You can get early onset Alzheimer's. So, if you think, oh, I don't have to worry about it, okay, all right, if you say so. I just said it again. 50 million people worldwide have dementia. So put that in perspective. It means that at least 1 in 3 people will develop dementia, or you'll be looking after somebody with dementia. It's going to affect you some way, somehow. So if you don't really want to care about it, okay. I would rather you be proactive rather than reactive. I don't know. I think Karen was talking about maybe there's an assessment chart now that they're using, because I don't have to go through any assessments anymore, obviously, because my mom's in palliative. But she just sent it to me. Oh, I guess there's an assessment chart that I guess the local health integration network uses to determine. Oh, see, government subsidized nursing homes. So she sent me a chart. So we could talk about that next week because we're going on and on. But yeah, this is a good tool.
So Cindy just chimed in and said, my boys are often scared to see my dad, so I have to explain to them that this is important even though he doesn't talk or knows who they are. I know they will never have the honor of knowing who he was, but they still see him because it's important to me. So yeah, that's a valid. Of course, you want your children to know your parents, to know their family, to know their lineage. So absolutely. Bill says, my 3 kids hardly come to see my mom. That's unfortunate. Bill, are they grown? Are they older? Is it their choice? Why do they feel that way? Why are they so adamant? Are they in that same category of just wanting to remember your mom the way she once was? What's the story there? But yeah, I guess this is going to be like a common thing that most families feel, like you guys said, that a lot of people just kind of don't want to see the person go through this type of disease.
Well, not only that, and I don't want to scare anybody, but it's the reality of it. And like, my mom looks completely different. She doesn't look like my mom anymore at all. So I can understand how that would scare somebody too. But unfortunately,
that's the rawness of it.
Yeah, like,
it's real.
It's like, and then I just look at it like, so if somebody had cancer, because that changes you physically too. You're just not going to go visit them because it's too hard for you to, like, when you're sick, that's when you need people to visit, regardless of, you're sick, so you're not going to look your best.
No,
I don't know. I know, weird, huh?
But I'm sure there's going to be cancer patients that tell you that their experience was the same, that that there was immediate people that came to their aid, and then people they thought that were really, that had their back, just decided I can't deal with this.
But then there's also too, on the flip side, and that's true as well, a lot of people who do have cancer will say, I don't want people to see me like this, right? So there are 2 sides to every coin, as they say.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I'm just saying, I guess maybe the support, maybe not, if you feel that way towards, I guess, the person who's affected, you shouldn't isolate the person who's looking after, right? That, like, even if you isolate yourself, you should know, like, that person really needs some support and some help. So let me just go and see and check in. Just check in.
Mm-hmm.
He is, did you read that already?
So Bill says, just don't know how to handle, he's talking about his children. They just don't know how to handle the illness. He has one 22-year-old and twin girls, 19. Cindy says, I feel comfortable explaining to them that he isn't aware of what he's doing sometimes, like spitting on himself or showing them his toothless mouth over and over again. But I also tell them about who he was before the illness. Yeah, that's important too.
Yeah, I do that with Jalen all the time.
Yeah.
So that's really important. But I do that with both my parents.
I'm sorry. There's like a delay.
I know, I think so.
Like I'm always interrupting.
That's okay.
But I feel blessed that my daughter can remember her great grandmother when she was growing up, and to the ones who like you, your son.
Mm-hmm.
I mean that just like tugs on your heart. But
Yeah.
That must be really hard. I'm so sorry for that.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. And it is sad because she would have been like over the moon with him. But well, it is what it is, unfortunately. Mm-hmm. Okay, well, we're going to, this is long, so we have to sign off. Why are you looking at me like that?
Oh, don't start with your side eye, front eye, frontal, back, five side.
Full frontal?
Don't.
Okay.
Major side eye.
Yeah. All right.
So next week, what are we covering?
Well, we're gonna look at this thing, and then well, I'm sure there's we'll look at the comments. I'm sure there's lots of comments, and we'll go from there for next week.
Okay.
This is really good. We're getting the word out.
Mm-hmm. We really enjoy having you on, Kalina. It's always great to have a different insight and perspective, especially somebody that is hands-on going through this
and
journey.
a young caregiver. Yes.
You can't control the waves, but you can learn how to surf.
That's right.
Exactly.
Surfing every day with my surfboard. Yes, I do. Surfboard.
You're not from Alabama.
Sure I am.
No, you're not. You're not. You really aren't. Stop it immediately.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
Ugh.
How am I allowed to speak that way?
Exactly.
All right, you guys, as usual, thank you for tuning in and supporting and, you know, commenting and sharing and just
Share. Let's get the word out. And we're going to start our campaign. We're going to work on that, Kalina and I. And we're going to do this. Enough is enough.
Yes.
Right.
Thank you guys for all the work that you do. You guys are the real MVPs. Much love and blessings to you all. And get
Bill,
out. And,
we're going to have you on here one day.
yes.
One day.
It would be nice to have Bill on.
Yes.
Just to share a different male perspective.
Yeah, because that's like a very, and I don't mean to, I don't want this to sound bad, but it's very rare that a son takes on that responsibility. And I know because you're the only child, so yes, but I mean, it is very rare. And that's very, very nice.
So, Bill, please consider, we promise we'll be gentle. Well, I will be. I don't know about her.
Whatever.
See the halo? There's a halo over my head. She's side-eyeing.
Did you see Kalina?
She's doing some kind of frontal. Everyone's being a hater, and that's okay. But Bill, I got you, Bill. I got you, Bill. Okay?
God.
I'm just kidding, Randy. I
No,
love you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Don't try to, it's your Alabama bad accent.
You're just a hater. All y'all are hating. It's okay.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Okay, you guys, we're out of here. This is getting long. We love you all, and we will tune in next week. See you. Peace and love. Enjoy the weather. Enjoy your loved ones, and we'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.